Hey, hi, hello. Welcome to Diana Emerson. Today we're listening to Interrogation Raw, a family tragedy.
Three family members shot in cold blood.
Yeah, remember what happened? This heard noise. That's when the guy shot.
This just doesn't happen here. The only eyewitness fighting for her life.
The likelihood of her dying was much greater than the likelihood of her surviving.
Evidence leads to a potential killer.
Yeah, there's some guys happened last night. What the hell happened?
Investigators searching for answers.
What happened? Who the hell shot?
In the interrogation room.
You go there and go in and yell, hello, Tiffany. Did you?
Every suspect accused of the crime has the right to remain silent. Many agree to be interrogated anyway, but they can stop the interview at any moment, making it a race against time. Justice hangs in the balance.
Alec Kruger had called 911 and reported that there had been an intruder at his residence and that his parents had been shot. You hear what sounds like a possible gunshot, and then the call goes dead.
Coming up to the house, there really wasn't any indication of anything gone wrong.
As you go up the stairs is the main bedroom or the master bedroom. Alec was found lying on the bed, and Tracy was on the floor on the opposite side of the bed in that main bedroom. Tracy Kruger and Alec Kruger were both deceased and appeared to have multiple gunshot wounds. Hillary Kruger had suffered a gunshot wound, and she was in very critical condition, but was able to communicate with the initial responding officers for at least a short period of time.
Ma'am, you remember what happened? I just heard noise. Told my husband to wake up. You told your husband to wake up? That's when the guy shot us. Do you know what the guy looked like? Just tall and thin, I think. Do you remember what kind of gun he had?
Anytime you take a gunshot wound at close range like that and have serious injuries, I think the likelihood of her dying was much greater than the likelihood of her surviving.
We got in her car and drove to one of his friend's house that we thought he would be at. And sure enough, that's where Zach was. And we sat down and explained what happened. And that was a very, very difficult conversation to have. That was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do.
We had a close-knit family. We loved each other very much. The relationship between my mom and dad, you could tell they truly loved each other and they were always by each other's side. My dad was really into snowmobiles and snowmobile racing, so we would always go and watch him. My mom would always be there cheering him on.
Tracy and Hillary definitely had a type of relationship that everybody dreams about having. Just a American family.
I loved hanging out in the garage with my dad, watching him work on cars or snowmobiles, and my brother would always be right next to him watching him. He was just kind of that class clown that made everybody laugh.
I know Alec, he'd probably be just like his dad, making things go fast, working on snowmobiles, doing things with his hands, playing guitar. And I know Tracy would still be married to Hillary, and they'd be living a great life. Growing up on a farm, that was a dream of his. And unfortunately, he was there for a very short time. I don't think they even lived in that house for a year and a half when this tragedy happened.
The background on the Kruger family was they're just a standard middle America family living their lives and working their jobs and raising their children. And so to have somebody come into their house and attack them in this brutal fashion didn't really make sense at first. There's a lot of unanswered questions, a lot of unknowns. Did somebody end up at the wrong house? Was there a confrontation at this house? What would be the motive?
They discovered a shotgun near the northeast bedroom, the phone off the hook, and shotgun shells lying throughout the upper staircase.
We suspected, because of that gun being in proximity to the bodies and empty shell casings at the top of the stairs, that was likely the murder weapon.
So when I first drove up that night, there were two vehicles stuck at the end of the driveway, just east of the residence. You could see that both were stuck backwards in the ditch, like they had spun out.
We were trying to figure out the two vehicles in the ditch. What is the relationship? Was Tracy Kruger or somebody else from the family down here on the road at some point?
There was a little blue, toe strap sticking out from the front of the pickup. There was a single set of footprints leaving the vehicles.
The license plates were run on the vehicles, and that's what told us that one was registered to Michael Zavala and the other one was registered to the Kruger family. At that point, we are going to want to talk to Michael Zavala.
We get a radio call from one of the Waseca police officers that a neighbor is reporting his vehicle has been stolen. We have no idea what's going on. The assailant's still out there. We want to be very cautious. We don't want anybody else hurt or killed. The stolen vehicle is found maybe 100 yards from Zavala's house.
There were footprints near the vehicle that you could follow down the street and right up to the Zavala residence in the snow. We don't know who all resides in the residence. We don't know how many people are in there. We don't know if they're armed or what their state of mind is.
We already knew that there was 2 people dead, possibly 3. There was a weapon involved. We had SWAT team gathering in case we needed them for entry. And then shortly after 7 a.m., we get the 911 call from Michael Zavala trying to report that his vehicle is stolen.
He wanted to speak to law enforcement to file a stolen vehicle report. So we just communicated with the dispatcher to relay to him, meet us at the end of the driveway, and we would take it from there. When Michael Zavala exited the residence, he came out with his mother, walked down the driveway where we were. We approached him and introduced ourselves to him. Said we understood he wanted to report his vehicle stolen. We explained to him that we have questions about this matter and that we'd like to talk to him at the sheriff's office. He agreed voluntarily to come with.
We wanted to get information quickly because we don't know if Michael Zavala is the guy or if it's somebody else.
for the record, I want to, we talked about a couple things walking over the truck. We explained to you you're not under arrest at this point, okay? But we do want to talk to you about an investigation, obviously, that we're working on and stuff like that. So we asked if you come in and you said that's okay by you, right?
Yes.
Okay. You called 911 a little bit ago, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And you realized what was missing?
I woke up at like 10:07. I was gonna go start the pickup. I just looked outside to see if it's still in the hall. My pickup wasn't sitting there.
Okay.
That's what it's called. I asked my mom, she moved my pickup and all that. And she said no. That's okay. I was going to call it.
When was the last time you saw your truck?
Last night.
You went to work yesterday?
Yeah.
What time did you get done at work?
I got done at work at about 2:30, 3 o'clock.
Okay, and then what time did you come home?
It was about 6 o'clock.
Okay.
I got home.
And then you stayed home all evening?
Yeah.
Okay, have you been drinking right now?
Just water.
Okay, because I do smell a little bit of alcohol on your breath, you know. And that's, you know, it's good you're being honest about that. I mean, you weren't driving right now, you're not, you know, that's not a problem. It's not uncommon for suspects to sometimes make contact with law enforcement to try to provide a story or provide an explanation that's going to serve them and serve their purpose in the case. And so we were certainly suspicious early on, just not knowing many of the facts.
So, have a chair, Mike, and get comfortable.
It's a very serious, very heinous crime. Certainly, we're laser focused on getting information and figuring this out and getting the truth.
The tape's been running pretty much the whole time. Mike, but, you know, on the way in, we talked a little bit, and I read your rights, correct? And you understood those, right? I'm good at reading people's faces, and just the look on your face is there's more of the story, and that you want to tell me, but you're afraid to.
My mom, she was in a pretty grave condition. I remember family members and doctors saying that there was a low chance of her making it out of it. Knowing that my dad and brother didn't make it, I was kind of in a shocked state. I didn't know what to say, what to do. I was praying that my mom would make it through.
We had not processed the crime scene to any degree at that point. We hadn't been able to gather much information from the scene or any witnesses. Our plan to interview him certainly was just, you know, gather information about his timeline of events.
That's what I'm asking you to do right now. Just tell Trevor and I the truth about where you were last night. You were home. Oh, no. And what I'm concerned about is we found your truck, okay? I told you on the letter, it's in the ditch. We also found a stolen truck, okay? Another pickup, not far from your house, okay? That was stolen close to where your truck was, okay? And there's footprints from that truck leading to your house, okay? We know you were out last night. Where were you drinking at? And you know you're drinking, you already told me you're drinking. What difference does it make if you tell me where at? Like, you know what I mean? Where were you drinking at? In town here? In Waseca? Okay. Were you drinking with friends, by yourself?
Mr. Zavala, on the car ride in, he indicated that he had been at work the previous day, and then he went home and that he was home all evening. He said he was drinking at home alone. As the interview progressed, his story slowly changed.
Okay. What time did you stay there till? And then, okay, then where'd you go? Went back to his place and went home. Okay. How did your truck end up in the ditch though? Did you leave your house again, or where's that going? I went home. Yeah. Okay, but you see, Mike, where the problem lies here? The stolen truck. Your fingerprints gonna be on it? No. You sure of that? Yeah. Okay. These are the shoes you were wearing last night? Yeah. Are these footprints gonna match the footprints in the snow by the stolen truck? No.
So when a suspect gives you that kind of confident answer that no, you're not going to get me on this, or you're not going to trip me up on this issue, it does kind of make you step back a little bit and try to figure out where am I going to go with this now.
I'm not gonna bullshit you. There's some bad that happened last night. I know it. You know it. You have the facts. I have ideas. I think you went to think you were cold, probably under the influence a little bit. Okay. You tried to get your vehicle out. It didn't work. Okay. You tried to get back in where you're warm, and there was some type of a confrontation. Okay. And that's where you got to fill in the blanks for us. What I'm getting at, Mike, is a person is dead. They were shot. How that happened, I don't know. That's where you come in. Okay.
If somebody accused me of shooting somebody and I hadn't, I'd be quite upset. Angry, I think, would be the reaction we would expect from most innocent people.
I tell you what I'm gonna do. Drink your coffee. I'm gonna step out for just a minute, okay? Yeah. Stay. Okay, man? All right. I'll be back in a minute. What's that? Do you want to go have a cigarette? Do you want to take upstairs and have a cigarette? Or? Why don't we do that? Let's take a break. We'll stop the tape at this point.
It's important that people are allowed to have that emotional break from the interview and kind of allow him to reset. It's an opportunity for us to try and get some information from other colleagues who are at the scene.
Let's come back in, turn the tape back on. The time now is about 09:46 hours. Just where I had a smoke break. You guys were outside chatting. Didn't talk about the investigation all when you're outside, right? Okay. I did check on a couple things, Mike, and basically, I talked to one of my partners, and he's interviewed your mom. Okay. Initially, you said you were home from 5 o'clock on. Well, that's not true. Then you said you were home at 11. Well, that's not true. You see what I mean? And your mom says she heard you come in around 3:30 in the morning. Now things are falling apart already. Your mom's saying you came in at 3:30 in the morning. She heard you. And your mom isn't trying to get you in trouble. Okay? She's your mom. You know what I mean? She loves you. But she's telling the truth. Tell us the real story. We left the bar and started with Coors at about 1:30, 1:30, something like that. Went to Eric's house, sat there, and I was fine. He had a few more beers in his place. I left there at about 2:30, 2:05. Okay. Then where did you go? Okay. Now we're back to where we were again.
We had gotten information in that first break maybe about the shoes that they saw at the house when we secured it, matched the footprints in the snow.
These shoes that you're wearing right now don't match the ones we're doing. So what other shoes do you have at the house? Boots? Okay. There's some black slip-on shoes that your mom said were yours. Are those yours? Yeah. They're your shoes. You admitted it, your mom admitted it. Your family's all said those are your shoes. And they match the footprints. So now somebody was wearing your shoes and someone stole your truck? And then brought your shoes back.
I didn't remember where I don't know I knew it was the first time it was too cold. I waited there all the time.
Not last night.
When you're throwing these bits of information out, it reminds Michael Zavala that we do know a lot of information and we're going to know a lot more as this case plays out.
You keep changing the story every little bit. You know what I mean? First it was I was home all night. I was home at 11. I got home at 3. This is really kind of your shot. You know what I mean? This is your chance. Okay? To tell your side of the story. Okay? Explain to us the deal. Tell us what happened. We can all put gold in there.
I was getting very frustrated, hence the sigh and the interview. We now have evidence that we're explaining to you, and you still go back to this story. He's not biting on the shoe prints. He's not biting on the fingerprints. How do we keep moving forward to keep him talking, and how do we get him to motivate him to tell the truth?
Is there something I'm doing that's causing you to be afraid to tell the truth? No. Tell us the way it went down. Like, how did this work out? Please tell us.
I didn't know this sounds like
Then please explain to me how all this evidence is otherwise.
So it's getting long and frustrating listening to his responses.
When we've been at it for a little while, it's always a good time to, maybe take a break and step out.
I'll be right back. You guys want to take another smoke break? You want to do that? Like a good doctor? Okay, the time now is approximately 10 o'clock. We make a note of that. And we'll take a brief break.
When Hillary first went into the hospital, she wasn't conscious yet. She finally started showing progress, and it was at that time you finally felt like she's going to make it.
That was an important piece of information that I wanted to use to confront Mr. Zavala with. She may be able to tell us what happened. So it was kind of an additional piece of leverage to try to get him to tell the truth.
Here you are one day, you've got a great friend, a brother, and the next day you don't have him, and I can't even explain how that changes your life. Your brain is constantly trying to figure out, why did this happen? Why? It's just one big circle. That's the last thing you're going to think of is somebody coming in the middle of the night and just start shooting at you while you're in a dead sleep. That just doesn't happen.
First thing is the female from the residence, Hillary. She's in surgery right now. Okay, so we can't talk to her yet, but she's going to survive. I have no doubt she saw you. It's really time to tell the truth. What were your intentions? What the hell happened?
As you told me.
No, you told me you were home sleeping, and that's not the case, Mike. I mean, there'll be a trial, or you can just get out in front of this right up front, explain what happened. Okay? You know what I mean? Did you go there and intend to kill those people or not?
No.
Okay. Then why did you go to their house?
Those pauses allow that pressure to build. People generally don't like that awkward silence. And so you let that silence sit and you let that build and you leave the ball in his court, so to speak, and say, how are you going to respond to this?
Give me the reason. Please explain it to me. Tell me why you went to your house. You didn't figure it out? Okay, that makes sense. And did you use their truck to try and pull your pickup out then? What happened that you couldn't get your pickup out? You were trying to do this by yourself. So you didn't have like somebody to sit in your vehicle and help? Yeah. Okay. Then what? Okay. So you took that pickup and then where did you go? Okay. What time was it that you got home about? Okay. Then what time did you wake up? Okay. This stuff's all fitting now. This is good. You're telling the truth. Okay. This is the right thing to do. Trust me. Okay.
He knows what happened ultimately in that house. I wanted to make sure and see if there was an accomplice or other people involved present at the crime scene.
Okay. We're missing the big piece here though. But, okay, you're on the right track. We're missing the big piece about where the confrontation happened. Okay. Okay. But you had to have some contact with these people. How did they end up shot? Okay, nobody's gonna believe that it's just a coincidence that you were in their yard stealing their car at the same time they ended up dead. Okay? Oh my God, man. I thought we're over the home. Like you're over the hump, okay? No. There's no point in saying this. There's no point in it. Tell the truth about what happened when you're in the house. Okay? I didn't go in the house.
I sat back in my chair, almost threw my arms up in frustration. You can't say this and expect people to believe it because it doesn't match with the facts that we know.
What was your intent when you went in there? Was it just to seek some help to get out of the ditch? Was that your intent? Yeah. Most people would do that if it was 25 below, wouldn't they? Try and get some help, right? Yeah. Then what happened from there? Nothing.
We were kind of stuck in a pattern of this, incremental admissions. We didn't feel that we had anything to lose at that point by trying another tactic. Introducing a new face, he may react differently.
Yeah, good. Mike, this is Gene Otherman. He's another agent with the state crime bureau, okay? Yeah, I've been monitoring your conversations as you guys are going on here. Talk about like what happened. Did you surprise the husband, or what happened that led to the struggle? No. We know you were there. We are going to put you inside there. The only thing we don't have is your reason for doing it. Or did you go in there and go in and kill a little kid the same age as your sister? Did you? There's no point in not telling the whole truth at this point, okay? Tell the truth. You feel bad. I can see it in your face. Okay? And I think it bothers me most about that little book.
He knows who he shot, but it reminds him and amps up that emotional level that this is very, very serious. You did this and a child was killed.
What happened? Get it off your chest. One does now because he didn't say anything about little boy. What do you mean? He didn't say anything about little boy. I'm telling you that there's a little boy.
You know, and
The little boy was on the phone.
I make
I can guarantee you. That is the question that's kind of hard.
Yeah.
You and your family. And
I'll show you when you get here.
why
Okay.
it is that.
Okay. Bye.
And that is what I'd like to hear from you. Why? Look me in the eye. Tell me why. Just tell me why you do this. I know you normally wouldn't. And given different circumstances, I don't think you would. You're in somebody else's house when you're not supposed to be in their house. And they are going to either assault you to stop you from doing it, plus they're going to call the cops. Now that's why I think, personally, that's why I think you shot them. Is because you were trying to protect yourself. That's the only reason that I can see. Am I right? I thought so. I thought I was. And that makes me feel better about you. Because I just can't see you walking in there and shooting some kid. No, no. It went off accidentally? Okay.
I think it was a pretty important moment. It wasn't the whole truth yet from him, but he's at least admitting that he was in the house and is involved in the shooting.
Okay. What kind of a gun was it? A rifle? A semi-automatic or a bolt-action rifle? Or a pump? What kind? A pump. Okay, then tell me what happened. Give me the story. Give me your part of the story about what happened. From the time when you went in the ditch. Start from the beginning. Okay? Well, I went in the ditch. I went up to the house. Okay. Tried the door. It was locked. The vehicle was sitting outside. I opened the freezer and when I was in the garage door. I went in the house. Yeah, I went to somebody. And then was was your eye giving what? Ask me to come out and help you get out of the ditch? Yeah. Okay. Okay, well, you were where in the house? What part of the house? In the bedroom? No. Okay. And did anybody answer? No. Okay. So then what happened? Tell me how that. I spent like 5, 6 times and I was in the hallway and then he was coming right out of the bedroom. No. Okay. And it was pointed at you? No. Okay. And what did he say? Huh? What did he say? He told me to get out of there. Right? Then what happened? Then what happened? You pumped the round into the gun? Jack the pump. Okay, and then what? That's why I think you grab it so that he wasn't doing it. Okay, then what happened? And I got it away from it went off. It went off like 3 times and I told me and him was going on. Okay, so then it goes off and then how did it hit the wife? When we were struggling. When you're struggling. Yeah. Are they saying anything to you? She was just going, oh my God, and that was it. What happened to her? That's when she got shot. Trying to go down the stairs and I dropped the gun right when the kid was standing there talking on the phone. Yeah. Okay, so you dropped the gun and then it went off? Okay. Did you see it hit the kid? No.
Alex was shot 3 times. Dropping the gun, it didn't go off 3 times. And if it did, it would be 1 time, not 3 times. It's a pump shotgun. It doesn't work that way.
I don't believe that there's a struggle. We have 3 people who've been shot, a couple of them more than 1 time. So the idea that this was just an unfortunate accident just doesn't fly whatsoever. Both of us felt like we had enough at that point. We placed him under arrest pending criminal charges for murder.
Oh my goodness. Yes, he did the crawl. And he did the crawl.
I don't think he ever wanted to admit that he intentionally shot and killed anybody. He wasn't going to go there. But there's evidence left all over that crime scene. There's evidence on him. And we're going to find him.
We have now spent the previous day and into the night processing the scene, gathering information. We determined that there have been 8 rounds fired, which even further dismisses this idea that this was just an unfortunate accident. And then we learned from the autopsy of Tracy Kruger that a piece of actual spring from the bed mattress and some fibers from the bed mattress were found in his wound in his chest, which told us that he was using that mattress as a type of shield or a way to protect himself from Mr. Zabawa shooting at him.
It just confirmed that there was really no struggle at all there. He was trying to hide from Michael Zabawa at the time.
The guns that were in the house, was there ever a gun in the bedroom? Did you guys keep a gun in the bedroom?
Not that I was aware of.
Okay. Where did Tracy typically keep the guns?
Downstairs.
Okay.
We had a gun safe,
Okay.
but I don't think that they weren't in there
Okay.
because they were needing to be cleaned.
Okay. Would they have been just outside the gun safe downstairs?
Yeah, some in the gun case with the door open
Okay.
and some maybe on the floor.
Okay. Would they have been loaded or unloaded, do you think?
Unloaded.
Unloaded. There wouldn't be a loaded gun in the house. Okay. So this intruder brought the gun upstairs with him, as best as you can tell. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do you recall, did Tracy have any struggle with this individual? Did they actually have a physical fight of any kind?
No, I don't think they had a chance.
I wasn't out of the woods for quite a while. It took 2 hospitals, 2 rehabilitation, and 9 months before I was able to come home again.
To find a gun, to load a gun, to walk up the stairs, to start shooting people are all intentional acts. At any of those moments, he could have changed his mind.
There was never any type of struggle. But that was the story that came out first before anybody was even able to talk with me and get the facts. That upsets me. I know how senseless these murders were.
I think the jury could see that he was lying and untruthful from the beginning. That was very important to show the jury that he wasn't telling the whole truth, and the evidence supported what actually happened.
It was emotional. I testified with Sabal only a few feet away. But I was just there to do my job and make sure that he didn't get off on this.
He was found guilty on 2 counts of first-degree premeditated murder, which were 2 consecutive life sentences. He got 216 months for Hillary's attempted murder. But he never showed any remorse for any of this, never indicated he felt bad about what he did or provided a logical explanation or anything for it. And I don't think we'll ever know.
It's on my mind every day, but it doesn't control me or define me. It's become part of me.
I don't think we ever try to move past it. There's always a thought there when we're together. We just gotta just keep living the best we can.
Tracy and Alec are such good, kind people that their memory deserves us to live our life the best we can. I miss everything about them. I miss their silliness and just being fun and being a family and just having dinners together. I miss their hugs. But I'm happy and thankful and grateful that we did have that time with them. That will always stay in my heart.